welcome to today's reaction with me, Kajoko. On top of our stories today, Supreme Court strikes out application for reinstatement of the Chief Justice Torkonoo. While in other stories too, we would have 341 diplomatic passport holders and 360 service passport holders passport cancelled out due to the directive from the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So there's a many more stories is what we have for you. And we wouldn't leave here without discussing the minority leader and other matters arising. So this is what we have for you for today. Getting to know Ghanaians, I didn't start off knowing them on a bad note. But in the last few years, we've tend to realize that politicians have decided to own this country and do whatever they like with it. For me, I don't believe in journalism or insult. But if we allow these politicians to begin or to continue with what they've started, some of them, look, and we'll get to a point where we wouldn't even know where we want to start from again. We won't. Because if you ask me, a lot of things have gone wrong over the years. And currently, I don't know, for some reason, the MPP are making it look, they are creating a picture as though the resetting agenda by the current administration is one that is not going to help anybody or is not going to help develop this country into what it is supposed to be. Clearly, look, it is glaring in our faces that a lot of things are wrong. And take it or leave it, the word change would always come with a lot of forces. Look, as we speak, in the last few weeks and months, we've not gone to bed without thinking about the said Chief Justice and it matters. Look, it is just simple. No reasonable court under the sun will listen to anybody claiming that what His Excellency the President did was wrong. No individual under the sun will do that. Whether the tomato seller, from the tomato seller to the last person, from the elite society to the ordinary people, no reasonable human being with the highest form of wisdom, which is common sense, will behave as if there is nothing at stake here. Look, let me give you a preamble to the whole issue. The Constitution mandates that if in any case the President is petitioned, right, on the basis of the Chief Justice has misbehaved, he or she has found himself doing contrary to what his office holds for or is supposed to be of. These are the laid down criteria. One, you choose to suspend the Chief Justice, you form a committee, right? All with the advice of the Council of States. The President did not make this decision in an isolation. Hear me out, just hear me out. If the President did not make this decision in an isolation, then clearly you can't say that all the members of the Council of State, including the President himself, plus other people who are deemed fit to hold different offices, yeah, will decide to go on a tangent of let's make this decision just to indict or pin down the Chief Justice. For what? To gain what? Fast forward, the New Patriotic Party, the leading opposition party of this country, decides to embark on a demonstration dubbed Save the Judiciary Demo. Clearly, if you would want to toe that lane of what the opposition party wants to do, fair enough, the Constitution allows you or permits you to do it. You head on to it. Few days later, for me, our argument will be based on what happened in court today. that the Supreme Court throws out the application for reinstatement of the Chief Justice Torkonoo. Now it is seeming more or less that the Chief Justice never informed us that she was a member of the New Patriotic Party, which is not wrong. But in this case, it looks like the New Patriotic Party and its members, including the Chief Justice herself, have neglected the Supreme Constitution, which is the 1992 Constitution, and they've decided to draft their own party constitution in the name of Ghana. It won't make sense to anybody on anything. That we have, look, for me, it even feels like the said MP who decided to file this case in the Supreme Court for clarification or for seeking to cause an injunction that which will reinstate the Chief Justice again was more or less, I want to make my name be heard that I've also said something. It's just like back in the days when we used to go to SHS. Then you see somebody scrambling something on the walls. I was here, Sam. That is what he's doing. Let's jump into the issues now. I'm reading for Ghana Web, right? Says that the Supreme Court of Ghana has thrown out the application for the reversal of the suspension of the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo by President John Dramani Mahama, right? Five-member panel of the Apex Court of the land, chaired by the acting Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafo Boni, dismissed the petition filed by the Member of Parliament for Otafo, Mr. Ntekwasifwa, by a 3-2 majority decision. This is where my interest comes in. The justices who voted to dismiss the application included Justice Paul Bafo Boni, Justice Yoni Kulendi, and Justice Amadu Omoro Tanko, says that, look, the dissenting judges were Justice Ernest J. Wu and Justice Henrietta Mensah Bonsu. Nobody is saying they were not fit for purpose on that day. Look, it is fair to decide to choose either ways. But in some more serious cases, I want to point out where my interest is, so I get to understand. The chairman further said that the full judgment will be out on May 21st, 2025. But in our initial judgment, let's look at it. Mr. Ntekwasifwa filed a motion at the Supreme Court seeking to halt the suspension of the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo by President John Dramani Mahama. This alone is idiotism at its highest level. A certain president who took a decision, who has taken a decision, right? Not in an isolation, but per the rules or per the constitutions, and you decide to walk to the Supreme Court and say, I am halting it. You are waiting, you are seeking for a whole Supreme Court, the apex court of this land, to halt the orders, the directives of the president. Hey, King Kang, just read and you are good to go. Reading shouldn't be a problem to anybody, especially not for a sitting member of parliament. Simple English. It says that once you've been petitioned as a sitting president, look, even when the Chief Justice was petitioned or was called to begin to give responses to all the petitions, she requested for 7 days to respond. The person said, no, I'll add 3 days, making it 10 days. Clearly, if the president had wanted to pin her down or victimize her, come on, just as you are painting it, or you are making it look, he wouldn't have said you have 3 days more in addition for you to come and respond. And listening to the responses of the Chief Justice, nothing indicated that she is not alluding to the fact of whatever petition the president has been petitioned for. She did not deny all the allegations leveled against her, but rather she sought to do what? Give clarifications to why XYZ happened. And how on earth, why on earth would a lawmaker decide to go to the apex court seeking to halt the injunction? And in any case, I have not heard any of you claim or make any noise talking about the opposition that what His Excellency is doing is wrong. Now let's read further. It says that the application filed on Thursday, April 24, 2025, requested that the Supreme Court issue an order restraining any further action related to the Chief Justice's removal under the Article 146 until the court has heard and delivered its final ruling on an already pending matter regarding the issue. Clear stupidity again. Excuse my language. Clear stupidity. Nah, and today they threw their stupidity to the court again. And this is what the court did. Say that the panel challenged the former or the immediate past what Attorney General Godfrey Dami. He went there to do his thing again. The court now said, show us the clause in Article 146 where it states that, or it states the timeline for notifying the CJ that a petition for her removal has been received. Nothing of that sort. He failed to do that. So you see, he did not even think or thought it wise that where in the Article 416, if you want to make your case based on that, which part of it states that there should be a timeline to it? For example, you say, I'm giving you 10 days, come and give a response to it. Timeline is near there. That if you have been petitioned as a president, within 2 days, you should give a directive. Or after these days, you can't give any directives again. Where? Nothing was shown. Nothing. So if you ask me, that means you didn't think right before going. You did not think. The person who pushed you to go to that court did you dirty, did you a disservice. And clearly, if you had a nation at heart, you wouldn't have even engaged yourself into such muddy case. This is a muddy case. Just for your names to be written that once upon a time you petitioned or you took this matter to court for no reason. And this going forward, a lot of things will happen. A lot of things are going to happen. And you know what? I begin to realize this tiki taka being played out by the opposition, right? That they will find a way to maneuver and do their own things. Look, in the document, we further stated that I'm quoting him right now. He says that other appointees of the president have in very recent times expressed a view on the petitions purportedly presented against the Chief Justice and indicated that she will surely be removed. This is what kind of evidence be this? How on earth will you give such evidences to your lawyers to go to the apex court of the land and think that you will win? Ah, you people are not smart. Your thinking is not up to the monkeys' thinking. The monkeys are known to be smart animals. And when you're smart, if you are taking such evidences to court, you are not smart. When you don't call yourself a lawyer, a practicing lawyer at that. Come on, you should know better. So that says that attached here with and marked as Exhibit F is the publication of a recent statement by the Deputy Director of Operations at the Office of the President and Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Mustapha Gwande, in which he stated that the Chief Justice will be removed. How can somebody's statement be an attack on the Chief Justice's work? If she had done nothing wrong, why would somebody's statement be an attack? Or somebody's statement seem as an attack by a whole government on one person? Hey, Abroni be here. Moves on and says that following the purported suspension of the Chief Justice and the composition of the committee to inquire into the three petitions against her, statements made by other appointees of the president show that the president. So statements made by the appointees of the president, are they supposed to be constitutions? Are they supposed to be legally or constitutionally mandated? That Once these statements have been made, the president has no right to receive any petition on the said person, which is the Chief Justice in this case, and that the president had no right to suspend her for a committee to be set up to begin to probe into the matter. Here was striking for me. Look, the striking case here is this. Statements made by the appointees of this person of the president. So we've done that. Attached here with so claiming that these are not as look, these are just excerpts of what he was claiming that it were heavy. Look, these were not substantial evidences. They were not concrete evidences. These look, a class one student will not make arguments like this in court. A class one student. A class one student will not make an argument in on this regard. On this regard. We would want to find more cases to this. Look, so for me, NDC and MPP, their banter, I don't care, right? But the way forward is what we are looking out for. The positivity, the national goal is what we look out for. Clearly, the court has its own thought and ideas. Now, this is the same judiciary the MPP yesterday went to demonstrate about that same the judiciary now. This same court here, clearly the NPP are lost. They've lost their way as a political party. They've lost their way. I need no gods to come and tell me that the NPP have lost their way. I need no gods. Okay, let's move into some other stories. Meanwhile, some positive stuff are happening. Look, I like it when the rules are being implemented because over the years we've shouted and made noise about how our constitution is not used or is not being utilized properly. It has only been a camouflage to us. And today, there is no form of ambiguity when it comes to the implementation of the constitution. Now let's read. See that, so this is some Olokude to Amnakwa, and the last 5 hours has decided to publish something on his post as a foreign affairs minister, which is quite tempting to me. So I'll look at it. It says that following the failure or refusal of 341 diplomatic passport holders and 360 service passport holders to comply with President Mohammed's directive to return those passports, I have today cancelled all those passports. Finito. Action. And action. So if you go to his Facebook wall right now, he has said the public announcement cancellation of diplomatic and service passport. So if you know you are holding one of these, whether the diplomatic or the service passport, please, he has announced and found now they will be collected and your traveling will be wasted. So don't even go. Do the right thing and you'll be free. Just do it. Right? Okay. These diplomatic passports, you know them. Say that traveling internationally, so he stated those who own or have these diplomatic passports, the former ministers and spouses, the former members of parliament, the former members of the council of state and spouses, and then the former or retired justices of the superior and lower courts. Let me try and amplify this. Right? Oh, sorry. Let me try. My screen is misbehaving. Okay, so let's see. And then we have the regional ministers, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executive officers. So there are a tall list here on this page. You can just check it out. So for now, if you know you're holding anything diplomatic passport, my friend, it will work. Just throw them away. The government has been changed and the rules are being implemented. So if you are using those things in a back in the days, Charlie is useless now. I wanted to touch on this. The office of the minority, right? This is from the minority leader himself. What we saw yesterday at the demonstration only points out the last 8 years how Ghana has been ruled badly and further throws more light on the description our president gave to this country. A crime scene. And these people, if you do something wrong, nobody talks about them. However, if the ordinary does something wrong, hey, look, this same the barbaric act of these leaders of the minority. Look, I am not saying that this same act cannot be found in the NDC, but in the MPP, because they've shown over the years. Look, even yesterday they showed it. How on earth will you remove your hands and slap somebody? Are you okay? There is no amount of justification to that. No amount of, look, you can't. On any day, you should not do that. And you call yourself a leader? Oh no. And you see, it comes back to it again. Our local dialect, we say that. Subai, and say anything. Upo, upo, a bit pay. Offender this, offender that, Mr. Offender this, Mr. Offender that, a principled man, I won't do this, I won't do this. It has been shown. Subai, so this is where we end our today's discussion. Thanks for joining me. In Kajukov. Please don't forget to click on the subscription button with me.